structure used to direct and manage the business and affairs of the company towards enhancing the business prosperity and corporate accountability. So, what is corporate governance? Join me at the Industrial Guidance video by Centre for E-Learning and Teaching Polytechnic Malaysia. Guidance video. I am now at Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM, the government's principal agency served to incorporate companies and register businesses, with Encik Khuzairi Yahya, Deputy Chief Executive Officer in Operations of SSM. Assalamualaikum Encik Khuzairi.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, terima kasih banyak-banyak. Thank you so much for being with us here. So I would like to welcome you to the Industrial Guidance video by Centre for E-Learning and Teaching Polytechnic Malaysia.
Thank you so much.
So first of all, maybe you would like to have some introductory about yourself and the roles of SSM in the country.
Okay. The Companies Commission of Malaysia, or commonly known as SSM, is a statutory body under the Ministry of Domestic Trade, Cooperatives and Consumerism, which regulates companies and businesses in Malaysia. Its other key functions include promoting corporate governance and business sustainability, incorporating companies and registering businesses, as well as providing the public with information on both.
Okay.
A little bit about myself. I'm presently the Deputy Chief Executive Officer in charge of operation. I look after the incorporation aspect, counter services, product and services related to all of the entities that we register. I've been with Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, or SSM, for approximately about 13 years already.
Encik Khuzairi, we'd like to explain more about what is corporate governance.
Okay. Right. Well, there are many definitions of corporate governance, but among the most popular ones are from the financial aspects of corporate governance, the Cadbury Report in 1992, which stated that corporate governance is defined as corporate governance in the system by which companies are directed and controlled. However, in Malaysia, we are using the definition under the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2012, where it defined corporate governance as the process and structure used to direct and manage the business and affairs of the companies towards enhancing business prosperity and corporate accountability, with the ultimate objective of realizing long-term shareholder value whilst taking into account the interests of other stakeholders.
I see. So what are the main objective or the purpose of implementations of this corporate governance? So and also, what are the benefits to the companies?
Well, there are many benefits to companies that have already implemented corporate governance or thinking about implementing corporate governance for the country or for their businesses. Well, the main objectives of corporate governance are a few. One is to promote transparent and effective market. What do I mean by that is that for consistency with the rule of law and clearly articulate the divisions of responsibility among the different supervisory, regulatory and enforcement authority. Second, it also to protect and facilitate shareholders' rights. Effective corporate governance will ensure the equitable treatment of all shareholders, including the minority. Fourth, to ensure the timely and accurate disclosure, corporations need to disclose on many issues, including the financial situation, performance, ownership, and governance of the company. Fourth, to ensure the strategic guidance of the company, the effective monitoring of management by the board, and board accountability to the company and shareholders will encourage active cooperation between corporation and stakeholders in creating wealth, jobs and sustainability. While the benefit of corporate governance are follows. One, contributes to national economic prosperity and competitiveness. Second, attracts investment and facilitates access to credit facilities. Third, ensure long-term business sustainability. Fourth, enhances companies' operating and profit performance. Fifth, structured management and clarity. Sixth, minimizes or eliminates corporate fraud, wastages, risk and mismanagement. And last but not least, creates premium in the value of shares of a company.
I see. Okay, so there are so many factors contribute to the importance of
Yes.
implementations of this corporate governance. So,
Exactly.
Encik Kuzari, good governance is an essential ingredient in corporate success and also the sustainable economic growth. So, why is it important for us to have this good corporate governance?
Okay. Corporate governance is key element in improving efficiency and growth, as well as enhancing investors' confidence. The presence of an effective corporate governance system within an individual company and across the companies as a whole helps to provide a degree of confidence that is necessary for the prosper functioning of a market economy.
I see. So from the economic perspective, corporate governance is an important element of achieving an allocative efficiency in which the scarce funds are moved to investment project with the highest returns. So can you please elaborate more further on this?
So, in a situation where funds are scarce, it forces a company to make choices to use the limited resources in the most efficient manner. Sound corporate governance practices assist the directors to provide effective stewardship with strategic planning to achieve the economic goals that the company aspires. Funds could then be allocated to the investment project with the possible highest returns while safeguarding the proper project management and monitoring as well as efficient risk management measures.
How can the corporate governance help the companies during the currency and the financial crisis?
Well, as I've mentioned earlier, corporate governance extends beyond complying with the provisions of law and regulations. If companies are equipped with strong working policies on risk management, strategic planning, internal audits, and standard operating procedures, such companies would be able to weather the onslaughts of problems faced by the industry, including any currency or financial crisis. We have to remember that the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance was given birth after the 1997 Asian financial crisis. There are many lessons learned, including the need for strong stewardship in helming companies that need to understand the duties and responsibilities of directors and a proper governance ecosystem to provide check and balances such as audit committee.
Okay, so Cik Kuzari, what are among the responsibilities or the roles of the corporate governance officer? So how do they help people and the companies in enhancing their market growth?
Interesting question. Corporate governance not only applies to multinational, government-linked companies or public listed companies. Corporate governance also applies to all type of companies regardless of their size of operations and business activities. As for corporate accountability, compliance to corporate governance requirements is very simple. Understanding of the subject, consistent planning and execution are important. For example, under the relevant provisions of the Companies Act 1965, in order to comply with the lodgement of annual return and audited accounts with the registrar, the following are among the requirements to be complied to. 1. Keeping proper accounting records. 2nd, tabling the account during the annual general meeting. 3rd, auditing the account. And finally, lodging of the audited accounts and annual return with SSM.
Okay, so in May 2015, a study by ACCA and KPMG found that Malaysia is leading other developing countries in corporate governance requirement. So I think this is one of the good news in the country, where I think most of the companies implemented the corporate governance in their companies. So with regards to this, can you please elaborate more, maybe the prospect in the development of the corporate governance in the country?
There are few areas where it's important to develop. For example, we need to develop and train the graduates. So good understandings of the principle of corporate governance and its application with the corporate ecosystem is critical in ensuring that Malaysia remains the leader amongst developing countries in corporate governance requirements. The younger generation, for example, will be leaders and captains of the corporate sectors of the future. They must be equipped with good grasp of corporate governance principles to ensure that the future corporate environment in Malaysia remains robust and will continue to be favorite investments destination.
Does SSM give any seminars or maybe a consultation to the companies and also to the people who actually would like to implement this corporate governance in their organization?
Yes, we do. We have our training arm called Comtrack. Comtrack has a calendar of events, training events, which they have already scheduled trainings in relation to corporate governance. On top of that, SSM also has published several publications in relation to corporate governance and how companies can implement corporate governance in their company.
Last questions, is there any tips and advices for the students out there who maybe would like to join and enter into this sector? What are the skills and knowledge required for one person to be in this corporate governance sector?
The most important of all is to have a good understanding of the company itself as well as the businesses that the company in. This will give the added benefit to them when they want to ensure that the company will have a good corporate governance in the country, in the company itself.
Okay, thank you so much Encik Khuzairi for your time and also the knowledge and information shared with us at Polytechnic Malaysia.
Most pleasure. SSM also would like to record our appreciation for selecting SSM.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
That's all our topic today on corporate governance. So students, I hope our interview with Encik Khuzairi of SSM will give you clearer picture on what kind of industry you'll be in years to come. So equip yourself with the knowledge and a good ethic and you'll be ready to become an advisor to a governing authorities across the private, public as well as the voluntary sectors. So thank you again for watching us at the Industrial Guidance video by Center for E-Learning and Teaching Polytechnic Malaysia. All the best. Thank you.